Okay, I am back with more tea about the House of Representatives under MAGA. I really want you to understand the sort of absolute abdication of responsibility that is happening on the Republican side right now. So I'll start by just catching you up. We've got 7 days until a possible government shutdown, but the truth is we will not shut down. We are going to have a vote tomorrow. Today is Tuesday. It will be Wednesday vote, and they're having this vote for a continuing resolution that goes until December 20th. No poison pills attached, no SAVE Act attached, and thank you all for doing so much research into that and really coming to understand what a toxic bill that is. And this vote is happening under suspension of the rules, and the reason that is happening is because normally in the sort of normal process, this bill would need to be passed out of the Rules Committee before it could come to a vote where it would just be passed by a simple majority vote. But Mike Johnson can't get it through the Rules Committee because the Rules Committee, if you'll remember, is chaired by extremists, MAGA extremists, who were put there by Kevin McCarthy, who could not become elected speaker unless he gave them these powerful positions. So these MAGA leaders on the Rules Committee don't want a continuing resolution. They want the government to shut down because that's the extremists in the Republican Party, which is most of them, are very happy to shut down the government rather than have more spending, which is because they care about the deficit, except that their president added more to the deficit than almost any other president in history. So the logic doesn't hold, but okay. Anyway, they don't want a continuing resolution, so Mike Johnson has to go around them. And that means he is going to have to go under suspension of the rules, which means he can get the bill to a vote, but now he needs 2/3 of the House to vote yes. And guess what that means? It means he's going to need a lot of Democrats, because remember, Republicans have a sliver of a majority in the House. So he will need to ask for help from Democrats, which has all along been the thing that Republicans don't want to do and that they get very angry at Mike Johnson for doing. But it was always going to come to this. This has just been a giant charade. So it's going to come up under suspension of the rules. Probably tomorrow it's going to pass and it will get signed into law before the government shuts down. But I want to talk really quickly about the other thing that Republicans are doing this week. I was on a meeting about it this morning, and it's what they've been doing all year. And instead of actually sitting down and really thinking about, like, how can we help the American people? How can we actually get appropriations bills passed instead of kicking the can down the road? How can we, grow, people's pocketbooks or whatever? No, what they have spent the entire past year doing, and I want you to look this up if you don't believe me, is holding hearings to make life difficult or to smear or to cast doubt upon President Biden, Vice President Harris, anyone in the Biden-Harris administration, and now Tim Walz. And so this week, they're holding 11 hearings. And while over in the Senate, we Democrats have the majority in the Senate. So over there, they have really interesting and needed hearings. They have hearings about climate change, gun violence. They have hearings about protecting Social Security, more access to health care. Over in the House, they're having 11 hearings just this week. Oh, and by the way, you know how they were just on recess for a really long time? Well, after this week, they go again for 6 weeks. They have 6-week recess after this week, because why would they work, right? You don't have to, still get paid. So they're having hearings, and the hearings are about, a bunch of them are James Comer's committee, where they're going to basically try to accuse Tim Walz of being a Chinese spy. This is literally something they're trying to do. By the way, if James Comer, if he were really concerned about influence peddling by the Chinese Communist Party, don't you think he would investigate the Trump family's extensive ties to the CCP, especially when Trump was in office? But no, not a word. They're going to have a few more hearings about the FBI and how it's corrupt and working for Biden, because that is what Jim Jordan has spent his entire year doing. This is their 9th hearing about the FBI, about attacking our law enforcement and trying to undermine the cases against Donald Trump. So we have 3 hearings on the border by the House Homeland Security and Oversight Committees. P.S. After MAGA torpedoed the bill that they wrote. They wrote a bill and then they killed that bill, even though it had everything in it they wanted and everything in it that they claim would fix the border. But they killed it because Donald Trump said it's not good for me, so don't pass it. And now they're going to have 3 hearings in a week about Biden and Harris's failure at the border. Can you believe the gall? You guys are paying for this. Oh, and one more thing. The House Oversight Committee subcommittee is holding a hearing featuring 2 witnesses. They are platforming these people. They're directly connected to Project 2025. We have Paul Winfrey, who authored a chapter in Project 2025, and then they're having the director of the Independent Women's Forum, a group that was on the advisory board for Project 2025. So go on and tell us how you have no association with Project 2025, you guys. Keep saying it, because it's really not true. But my point is, so it's 11 hearings like this week, but this has been their entire year. Hearings like this, a total waste of time, no basis in facts, all political stunts, no passing of actual appropriations bills. How long do we want to put up with this? It's ridiculous. And remember, this drama, this dysfunction can end on November 5th. All it takes is for us to decide that it should. P.S. It should.